Americans have featured in the past, but only Earl Strickland has taken the title, and that was way back in 1997. It seems as if the 9-ball revolution has left the Americans behind. But here in the Midlands, Shane Van Boening is out to reclaim the title for the USA. Tonight, he makes his debut in the 2014 tournament when he takes on Australia's James Georgiadis. There's been a sensational start to this year's tournament. Holland's Niels Vian, the defending champion, fell at the first hurdle, out to Italy's Daniele Corriere, a man whose claim to fame rested with the collection of 2 Italian titles. The top seeds should have taken note. In our next match, 2-time former world champion Torsten Homan found himself 5 racks down after the opening exchanges with Nikos Economopoulos, an impossible position to recover from. Plenty of drama in our third match with the appearance of England's Darren Appleton. A runner-up last year, he faced the unseeded Canadian Alex Pagulayan. Once again, the favorite found himself on the wrong end of the scoreline. Former Masters champions litter the lineup. Much was expected of Karol Skawerski, and he delivered against the highly rated Wang Kan, the man from Poland, the first to master the break. England's Chris Melling gave the home crowd something to cheer with a hard-fought win over Denis Orkulio. Regarded as one of the toughest first-round matches, Melling emerged victorious and into the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals are filling up rapidly. In the top half of the draw, Italian Daniele Corriere will play Karol Skawerski, and Nikos Economopoulos will take on Alex Pagulayan. In the bottom half, Melling's win over Denis Orkulio sets up the possibility of a clash with Carl Boys, although Boys has to first overcome Qatar's Walid Majid. Finland's Mika Immonen, a man who has won virtually everything the sport has to offer, bar the Masters title, is out to amend the omission when he plays Mark Gray. Coming up, the hopes of American 9-ball, and they rest with US Open winner Shane Van Boening, who takes on Australian James Georgiadis, who is hoping to build on his recent World Cup experience.
It's a very prestigious event. It's only invitational. You know, to get invite is just, it's amazing. You've got so many past world champions, and there's like 3 or 4 past world pool masters in this event as well. Everyone's just at the peak of the game, and it's just perfect. It's just top conditions. Couldn't ask for anything else, and tough, which is how it should be these days. Before I got the invite, I was pretty much watching him most days, you know, because obviously he's world number 2, just won the US Open. You know, he's at the top of his game, so couldn't ask for a tougher competitor, really.
Van Boening has won a host of major titles in the States, but has yet to win a major tournament abroad.
I won quite a few tournaments at the beginning of the year, and then just a few weeks ago I won the US Open again. I'm very happy to accomplish that. I've won the US Open 3 consecutive years and 4 totals. So it's been a good year for me, and I'm just hoping that I can win something overseas. I've having trouble winning something overseas. I've won 1 tournament in 2008, which is the World Cup of Pool. But after that, I haven't even won anything overseas. And I came close a couple times, but I just couldn't finish. So I'm hoping sooner I can just win something.
Van Boening won the lag and went on to take the opening rack. Georgiadis paid a brief and unsuccessful visit to the table. 1-0 to the American as we pick up the action at the start of the second.
Rack 2, Shane Van Boening to break, leading 1 rack 2.
One thing of note, Phil, the U.S. Open, which Shane pretty much owns these days, is played on these very diamond tables. He loves diamond tables. So he's clearly going to be very comfortable right from the start here. And great break shot right there.
Yes, one final footnote on the US Open. He's won it 3 times on the trot, as I said, 4 times in total. Remarkable achievement. And if doing something like that doesn't instill confidence, nothing will. Georgiadis couldn't really have picked a tougher first-round opponent. Mind you, in this field, there's no place to hide.
Look out for that cue ball. And that's a scratch. Well, if you're ever going to have a chance against the likes of Shane Van Boening, this is it right here. This is a golden opportunity to make a statement. He's certainly got to get these 4 balls down and get on the board and maybe get a chance to open up his stroke a bit and apply some pressure.
Well, they call him Jimbo the Showboat. He's about to leave the dock.
He's going to get one on the board here. And that was an absolute gift from the great Shane Van Boening. 1 apiece. James Georgiadis from down under will be breaking in rack number 3. Winner breaks. And just a race to 8.
Georgiadis from Adelaide, Australia. Beautiful city. Great test cricket ground down there. Always holds one of the Ashes games involving Australia against England. Australia best known, of course, for its production of snooker and billiards champions. In terms of billiards, they produced the best ever. Walter Lindrum, he was nothing short of a genius. And in terms of snooker, their leading player is a current player, Neil Robertson, the 2010 world champion.
Well, he gets the 8 ball down at the last second. He has a look at the 1, but apparently no clear path to a pocket.
Nice lad. We had a chat with him before the session began today. Full of enthusiasm. And you get the feeling, whatever occurs, he's going to relish the experience. And why not? Being involved in a major tournament in front of the television cameras against one of the world's elite.
Yeah, in the practice room, James has been just soaking in the vibes all week. Came a long way. He traveled further than anyone, and he got here about 5 days before this first match to acclimatize himself, so you know he's taking it very seriously. This is a big opportunity for the 21-year-old.
And basically everyone is given this match to Van Boening. And I suppose, in many respects, that creates pressure in itself because he's in a no-win situation. If he does get through, people will say, so what? Fully expected. If he were to lose, it would be a monumental upset.
Definitely. That's not going to go well. A scratch. Well, if you wanted to apply pressure on the likes of Shane Van Boening, that's not how to do it.
Well, as you said, Ted, in the previous rack, it was a gift. And this gift has been returned to sender.
There's James's girlfriend. They've been hanging around the practice room, just enjoying and having a great time on this trip all the way from down under.
Yes, and coming from Adelaide, I would assume the coach is wearing won't come off while she's here because it must be very chilly indeed. The weather in Nottingham in November is not akin to the weather in South Australia.
So this will be 2 mistakes in the first 3 racks from Georgiadis that has led to points for Shane Van Boening. 2 mistakes, 2 wins for Van Boening. He leads 2-1, and he'll be breaking in rack number 4.
Welcome back to the World Pool Masters. It's the opening round clash between Van Boening and Georgiadis. The American leading 2-1 broke in the 4th but came up dry. Georgiadis ran out of position, ushering in a bout of safety play. The young Australian looked to have won that particular battle but fluffed his lines on the 3. Van Boening cleared and extended his lead. In the 5th, the American proved he had mastered the break with a runout, as he did in the 6th. Van Boening just 2 away from the win.
Rack 7, Shane Van Boening to break, leading 5 racks to 1.
Well, the break successful in terms of a ball potted. It is the 2 ball, but no shape on the 1. With the pink 4 and the orange 5 so close to the cushion as well, doesn't afford SVB, Shane Van Boening, the opportunity to lay an obvious snooker, so maybe trying to take the cue ball down table for cover. Wanted to avoid the 7 though.
Nice shot there.
Has to make the most of every single half chance, quarter chance he's given.
He didn't even come close there. But he got away with it.
There's no way that Van Boening can pop the 1 ball to the middle pocket, but he can see it. There is a gap. The 1 will pot past the pink four.
That's a beautiful shot. Just to hear the crowd, they appreciate it here in Nottingham. Well, Georgiadis is in very deep waters now.
Surprising there, Van Boening was a little concerned the cue ball was going to run on a little and get in behind the six. But in the end, those concerns were totally unwarranted.
The winner of this match, and at this point it certainly appears like it will be Shane Van Boening, will play the winner of Mika Immonen and Mark Gray in the quarterfinals.
As you say though, Ted, it really is tough to imagine that Shane Van Boening will not be successful in this one. 6-1 ahead, 2 more needed.
Race to 8 is very short in pool terms. Winner breaks, which you don't see in that many tournaments.
Leading 6 racks to 1.
But at this point, James Georgiadis has not been up to the task.
And it's not helped his cause that Van Boening's break-off has been a lot more efficient than most.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, because we have seen a lot of players struggle with the break, not quite sure which balls are going to go down. But Shane, if he can continue to break like this in his next match, you could fancy him going all the way.
I know he's spent a lot of time up in the practice room when he's not been hitting balls himself. He's been watching others, gleaning every little bit of information he can possibly get his hands on or his brain around.
It's such a big part of 9-ball, the break. If you can get the measure of the break, you have an immense advantage. Listen, all these guys can make incredible shots, but the break shot is the one that can keep you at the table while your opponent is stuck in his chair.
Now Georgiadis, I was about to say, had to pot that one. Has to pot everything, really. Can't afford any more mistakes.
It's time to let the arm out. Time to freewheel it. Just try to shoot as if you're banging balls at the club.
Tall, wide stance. Orthodox. But that one left much to be desired. Okay, the 8-ball will clip in thin, but this is missable. What we have seen, though, with this pocket is that if you hit the near jaw, they fall. Told you so.
Well, is he going to get position? No, he ruined that one. That is tragic. He was shooting good. He was relaxed. This stings.
His girlfriend just hoping against hope that James can put another couple of racks on the board and make this respectable.
And try to kick it in, and this could go terribly wrong, and it does. Well, that's it. Van Boening puts one nail in the coffin.
Welcome back to the World Pool Masters and the first round match between Van Boening and Georgiadis. The American 1 rack away from the quarterfinals.
Georgiadis has a ray of hope. The 6-ball in on Van Boening's break, but no position on the 1. You see some amazing comebacks in pool, especially with the winner breaks format. Recently in the Manny Pacquiao Cup in the Philippines, Torsten Homan came back from 12-7 down in the final to beat Roberto Gomez 13-12. 6 on the trot when he needed them. But I think this would be one of the most remarkable comebacks in the history of the game. And although he's fluked a ball, it's done him no favours whatsoever.
I don't even think any odds makers would lay odds on Georgiadis being able to come back at this point.
Now, does the 1 squeeze past the black 8 and the blue 2? I'd be surprised if it does. And even then, look at the 3 and the 4 clustered together. This is showing Shane Van Boening's professionalism.
Extension call.
That was interesting. He stood up and called an extension because he didn't have his jump cue ready. So he has to pull it out of the bag. Should have had that ready at the beginning of the match. Nicely done.
Well, if the cue ball's frozen against the black 8, and I think it has, and stopped him potting the 2, that's cruel.
Yeah, because that's a great shot. And just 1 millimeter turn of the ball, cue ball. And now he cannot pot this 2, and he has to play safe. Oh, there's a foul.
And right now, Shane Van Boening is delighted where the 3 and the 4 are, although there is the possibility, of course, of a combination there.
He's actually lining up the 2-9. We call this a Hail Mary pass in American football.
Fancy him to get this. Well done.
In the 10th, Georgiadis had a nervous few moments when he was forced to surrender the table, but the attempt on the 1-7 combination failed for the American, and Georgiadis was back to the table on to claim another rack.
Look at this. He makes the 4 ball. And he's got a shot on the 1. He's going to have to decide what to do with this.
Well, he's certainly not ponderous. Makes his decisions relatively quickly and gets on with it. The shot clock certainly hasn't been a hindrance.
I believe he's left it peeking out just a bit. Yeah.
Referee Nigel Rees being asked to remove the chalk mark from the 1 ball.
Extension call.
Fans may have noticed that we don't have a 3-point rule here on the break shot. There's no illegal break. It's just hit 'em and go. Well done. So now he's faced with a combination, Phil. 2-7.
Well, he was sensible to have the object ball clean there, because playing the shot that way, he was susceptible to a kick. Karol Skaversky had a couple in his match, so too did Chris Melling. I think here, tantalisingly, the 2 ball has gone just too far past the middle pocket to cut it back in. And the 3 is blocking his options of potting it to top corner. Oh, well thought out. That was really good.
And he's forced Shane Van Boening into a very long jump shot.
And the snooker laid by Georgiadis deserved more than he got.
Yeah, Shane a bit lucky there, as he just wanted to make contact with the two. He didn't really know where it was all going to end up. Look at that. Put that cue ball right up against the 5 and apply some heat to the American.
Whatever happens now, I think he's acquitted himself well, Ted.
Yes, absolutely. Clearly a very talented player with a lot of potential. And look at this. What a terrific safety. Forcing Shane into a miss and now ball in hand. And the chance to cut the lead yet again. If he can get through these colors, and he should, that would be 3 in a row.
Just up the road from this Portland centre is Trent Bridge Cricket Ground, site of many a battle between England and Australia. Normally the folks in Nottingham wouldn't support an Australian, but here they are loving the progress of the underdog, and they'd like to see this match extended by a couple more racks. One of these horrible blind cutbacks, though, into the middle pocket. So easy to overcut this kind of shot.
He just gets down on it and hits it. Very loose. He's actually been like this since the beginning of the match. It was just those early mistakes. Plus, Shane had the measure of the break that led to this massive deficit of 7-1. He's got 2 back, and now he's going to get a third. 7-4. The Aussie James Georgiadis was, for all intents and purposes, dead and buried. At least we thought so, but he didn't think so.
Welcome back to this first-round match between Van Boening and Georgiadis. The American within touching distance of the win, but he just can't get across the finish line as the Australian claws his way back into this match. The 12th was a rack riddled with mistakes. Georgiadis eventually came out on top and remarkably is just 2 racks away from his American rival.
Who could possibly have predicted this? 4 racks on the trot.
Rack 13, James Georgiadis to break. Trailing 5 racks.
Georgiadis. Can he pull off the shock of the century in terms of pool?
He's got 2 balls down. Oh, unfortunately, he doesn't have a clear shot to a pocket on the 1 ball. For a second there, it looked like he might have. You've got to admire his perseverance. Even when he's been winning these racks, the last 4, it hasn't come easy. No break and run outs for the Aussie. At this point, he can say that he's battled Shane Van Boening on equal terms. 30 minutes ago, it was a rout.
Reminiscent this of the famous 2005 Party Poker World Pool Masters final when Raj Hundal came back from 7-1 down to beat Rodney Morris 8-7.
Nicely done there. Shane breaks out the jump cue yet again. Several of his jumps so far in this match have gone astray. He's going to like that. Good result. But James can see the ball. He can see a portion of that one ball. And he's getting down on the ball like he's going to go offensive. Yep, he's going to try to pot this. Oh, that is cruel. But look at this, Phil. Cruel for 1 second and lucky on the next.
You know, in the previous rack when Van Boening missed the 7th ball, I just wondered, will he greatly regret it? And now everything is going against him. Amusing there that Georgiadis looked round and apologised with a big smile on his face.
No, it's going to be a foul. This is incredible what is going on. Shane Van Boening has fallen apart. And you mentioned it earlier, Phil, about the pool gods. They giveth and they taketh away. When you have the opportunity to close it out and you fumble the ball, generally the mythical pool gods will not let you forget. You might laugh and go, yeah, right. The balls remember. The balls have a memory. We've seen enough pool. You've seen enough. I've seen enough. It's really true. The balls do remember. They will take away from you any momentum if you look a gift horse in the mouth.
Now, though, psychologically, pressure is shifting. At 7-1 down, Georgiadis had nothing to lose. Now, all of a sudden, the prospect of victory is distinct. So, therefore, the pressure switches around, comes onto his shoulders.
At this point, Shane Van Boening has to be thinking, will anything go right? And he must feel like he has a giant weight on his shoulders. Whereas this young man, 21-year-old James Georgiadis, is literally freewheeling it. Just letting the arm go, enjoying the moment. It's 7-6. 5 in a row for the Aussie. With a chance to tie here as he comes to break in rack number 14.
That was the mistake, hitting the green 6 ball before the 1. Georgiadis did the rest.
Australian 6 racks for 7.
Last time he broke, he made 2 balls on the break. However, his ride may be coming to an end soon. Nothing down and a shot on the 1 for Van Boening. But don't pick up the pen and give Shane the rack yet.
Van Boening is under the worst kind of pressure any human can face. Trying to close out a match he knows he should have won a while ago.
Oh.
His motivation here isn't reaching the quarterfinals. It's avoiding that horrible, horrible feeling if he were to lose. The one you can't shake for what seems like forever. The feeling that you know you should have won and you haven't.
Well, it's clear now that it's 7-1 up. He lost his concentration. He expected to just waltz over the finish line. Has to play safe. Well, there might be a chance here, Phil, to pot this 3 ball.
Well, when the object ball is always in close proximity to a pocket, you can't discount it, can you? The way this match has gone, I won't want to discount anything at all. Now, surely, though, the finishing touches will be applied by the great man. And if he does stumble over the line, Shane Van Boening's prevailing emotion will be one of acute relief. Unusually, though, he looks a little twitchy to me, understandably.
Absolutely.
Flash off, please.
Nothing is a sure thing at this moment for Shane Van Boening. So it will be a 5-6 combination. Well, he's going to have to play safe.
Obviously, he's got the tactical initiative here. He's got the tactical nous as well. But he would much rather be running out.
Yeah, and this is the kind of situation in the last few racks that have gone wrong for Shane. He goes for it. What a shot. Well, if you're going to be a champion, you got to make championship shots under duress. And that was one right there.
But the cue ball has come to rest awkwardly. Well done. Georgiadis has been more than valiant. But is his dream about to die?
Well, it may for the moment, but he has made a terrific account of himself, and I'm sure we will see a lot more of James Georgiadis in the months and years to come.
Shane Van Boening was 7-1 ahead. In the end, he limps over the line at 8-6.
A tough match for both players. Van Boening tested mentally, and Georgiadis his patience so nearly rewarded.
Just wait for your one chance and just make sure you take it. That's the key, you know. And just what to say is just getting rolls after rolls, and then I start getting the rolls. I miss a ball, then I get a snooker, and it's just everything gets twisted, which was good. And then it was just comeback time.
I have to think about something, you know, the time that I play good. You know, like when I won the U.S. Open. So I just try to, you know, vision that place, you know, that way you don't have to think about anything else. You know, you want to think about something outside where opponent is coming back and winning. But you just try not to worry about your opponent and just try to think about something else to keep you positive.
The Australian denied the win despite a brave fight back, which means that Van Boening is through to the quarterfinals and will face either Mika Immonen or Mark Gray. But coming up next, the clash between recent World Cup winner Carl Boyes and Waleed Majid. Both men chasing a place in the quarterfinals and a match with Chris Melling in the Party Poker World Pool Masters.